This year's beard crop's coming in quite nicely. My timeline as an otaku, not very exciting. There weren't any epic sword fights or anything like that that were involved. But it kind of started at the beginning, I suppose. My earliest exposure to anime would have been Speed Racer. I watched Speed Racer when I was little, but Speed Racer is one of those animes is also a cartoon because there's just something a cartoon because it was something that was exciting and fun to watch for a little kid, but a lot of my becoming an otaku has to do with my more of an intellectual interest into things and not just explosions and excitement kind of a thing. So yeah, that was just me as a little kid watching it, and I'm just going to glance down at my notes too. Which was just also the next thing which I was a fan of in elementary school, which was the Power Rangers. Like a lot of you remember that, and when Power Rangers was, I think, new and first being put out here, excuse me, being made with stock footage from Super Sentai, and I was a fan of that, and that was also just excitement and, you know, adrenaline and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, little kids watching it being, and all that stuff, and but I think with all these, like the earlier parts of stuff, I wouldn't qualify it as me being an otaku because it wasn't me knowingly saying I'm enjoying this stuff from Japan. It was me knowingly enjoying this thing that's on that flashy screen I love so much. But yeah, so next came in middle school the next step, which was me watching Dragon Ball Z, which exciting, good action and things like that, and I really enjoyed it, and like all this excitement for a young hyperactive kid, but still there was not the intellectual connection to it, and there was not the conscious I'm watching this thing from Japan thing that would come on, that I think is part of being otaku, because like I think I know I unconsciously knew that it was this stuff from Japan, but I wasn't like, oh, this is anime. Wonder what else is with anime. I like anime. Anime does this. Like, I didn't really start that phase yet. And then after I kind of grew out of Dragon Ball Z, I came to the point where I was in a lull of the stuff I was watching. I wasn't watching anything, to my knowledge. And I think it was just kind of me being in between the flashy screen, punching and thinking I'm a cool karate kid with a flashy screen in front of me and just being hyperactive, to something that I can get excited and on the edge of my seat, but also into the deep storylines and like connected to the characters. Yeah, so I kind of in between those phases of, and also I think that's like a phase with just like what we watch in media, like, or anything in life, because when you're a little kid, a lot of us, if given the choice, we'd eat cake and candy every meal, but then we eventually grow up and hey, we'd like some cake and candy, but we'd also want to eat some meat and potatoes and be nourished and have a good wholesome meal. I mean, it could also be a greasy hamburger, but it's better than cake. So moving into that and into that point in my life, I was in college, or was I in college when I caught this? I don't know, but I recall catching two different things. One was a movie and one was a series I caught from time to time, but I recall, if you guys know this, Cartoon Network, if you watch Cartoon Network sometimes, they will occasionally, I don't know if they do it once a year, I don't know if they've done it for a while, but they'll show a bunch of Miyazaki movies and just kind of play them, and it's kind of like a special event, maybe once every couple of years or something, where they show them like one every night for a week or so, and I happened to catch Whisper of the Heart, which was just kind of a little bit into it, and I started watching it, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it. I was like, huh, that was interesting, but there was still nothing like, this is the Japanese animation, this is anime. Hadn't started it yet, but looking at my notes, I also remember catching episode here and there of Trigun, but I then didn't get entrenched into that one, even though I love it, until after becoming an otaku. What really started it, which should almost be the really exposition, where things really started into the rising up into being an otaku, was when I started watching FMA. I remember the episode I watched too was the episode where, and this is not a spoiler, Ed and Al get into a fight. This is the first FMA series, mind you, and Al runs off, and they have flashbacks, and it's an FMA episode. And if you really know the series, you know which one I'm talking about. But or actually, they had an argument because they didn't really have a fight, but the series started intriguing me, so I started watching it more, and that's when it happened. I really got into the series, started buying the DVDs, started buying other series DVDs, and branched out, didn't stop watching, but instead of restricting myself to what was just on TV, which would have been Adult Swim for me, because I don't get, well, I suppose, sci-fi show stuff now and then, but also started going on the internet and seeing what else is out there that's not being shown on Adult Swim, and what else is available. I started buying DVDs, started buying the manga, and also with this, and becoming the otaku and just loving all these series. I also started looking into more of Asian culture with J-pop, and I should say Japanese culture, and really just into that. Became a little bit of Japanophile too, where I'm really fascinated with Japanese culture and would love to visit Japan sometime. But also got into like the logistics of anime, not only like how they make it over there, but how it gets produced and ready to be released here, and all that goes into like the directing, the casting, the dubbing, and like the translating and the scripts, and like all you gotta do with mouth flaps, things like that. So thus I reached the point here where I am an otaku, and that's where I am now.